Hey, it's Julie with Paradigm Interiors, and today I am coming a little early. I have a conflict at lunch today, but I thought that I'd go ahead and record and um, go live. Um, this week I am talking about repetition, the design principle of repetition. And one of the things that I hear a lot from clients is that they want a cohesive look. And I have my cohesive style guide. And it's really something that, a lot of people desire for their home. They want every room to seem like it was well planned and um, that everything goes together and flows from space to space. And so one of the key things and principles that is behind a cohesive style is the principle of repetition. And um, when you repeat an element, whether it's color or a finish, if you repeat that over and over again throughout your home, or a specific theme, even. So you don't want, if you want a cohesive look to your home, you don't want to create themey spaces where one room is, you kind of has this, one sort of theme and the other room has a different sort of theme. So for example, if you have a coastal look to one room, but then you kind of have, drift off into a bohemian look in another room, it's important that, room to room, you're crossing over that theme, so that every space speaks to the overall theme of your home. So it's okay if you want bohemian and coastal. You just have to repeat those elements throughout your home. And maybe you have one room that's a little more bohemian and one room that's a little more coastal. That's just an idea. But I'm going to show you some things in my portfolio, specifically, where I have used the idea of repetition or the principle of repetition so that you can see that it helps create that cohesive look. So this first image is, and let me screen share, minor detail. Um, so I'm gonna pick my Chrome tab. Here we go. So in this particular office, I repeated the navy blue color. It's on the door. But wouldn't it be weird if it was just the door was navy blue? Like if that was the only thing in the whole house that was navy blue, or anything, and even in that office, it was navy blue. But you have the navy blue door, and when you pull that door open, you walk into the space and you see that the navy blue colors are repeated on the rug, on the chair, and on the pillows. So that's taking that. Color, which is an element, and repeating it over and over again. Another thing that you can see that I have repeated in this is the light silver metals. 1 second. Sorry about that. So the shiny silver metals are repeated, the door handle, the lighting, but then I also have like a darker, more rustic metal, which is again repeated in the bookshelf and on the desk. And on the picture frame, so that is a key to mixing your metals together, is repeating that element. So in any time you're going to mix finishes, like mixing woods, mixing patterns, mixing metals, it's important that in within the design, or even within those patterns, like with patterns, you want to look for those consistent colors that cross over through the patterns so that it works. So that's the office. Then, within this home, we had the nursery, And we had the living room and the kitchen. And again, those blue colors we repeated over and over, from room to room, within the art, within the fabrics, the metals, the same thing. We repeated those bright, shiny metals with the more rustic, darker metals, over and over again throughout the house. And we also repeated that theme of that sort of, um, transitional glam and some of that rustic farmhouse look throughout the house, so that each and every single space, there's some connection, so that each space flowed from room to room. You notice that these three rooms have a similar, taupe color on the walls, but then the baby's room, the nursery, has the blue color on the walls, and more the taupey colors and the natural colors in the other finishes and in the art in that space. Here's another really good example, in this classic, transitional classic spa style bathroom. Again, repetition of that metal over and over again in the space, repetition of the colors and the, natural look in the window treatment. So we kind of have the taupey gray colors in the window treatment with that marbled bias tape, which kind of brings in the tile, the colors from the tile and everything in that one. Of course, that was a one room remodeling project, but and this one, in this space, you can see that these, coastal green colors are repeated even into the next room. And then we have some deeper blues in here, repetition of the wood color over and over again. The gold, also is another element that's repeated. Now we can see a little bit better here that the gold is repeated here on the mantle, so that that one gold piece doesn't really stand out. But then the other rooms in this same project, we see those again, the aqua and green, muted colors, the tan colors, the gold metals, all repeated, throughout the project in different spaces. And this one is in the same home. We've got again the gold metals, that theme of retro, repeated from room to room, so that no matter what room you're in, and what space you're in this house, everything seems to tie together from a color standpoint. So repetition is that design element that really helps tie in all of the different, materials and theme, so that you have this cohesive flow throughout a house when you are doing, an overall. And that really starts with, before you start to do a remodeling project, it really starts with creating a concept, for your space, and knowing what the style or mix of styles that you want to use are, and then making sure that you don't have those lone things that are just kind of out there in a room or in a space, that don't really make sense with that overall concept. So, and then just repeating the colors, finding that color palette, using those colors, multiple times in the project. So I hope that was helpful from a standpoint of repetition and the principle and how you can use it to create cohesive style in your own home. If you'd like to, be a part of the online community that I am creating, you can download the Cohesive Style Guide. It's kind of a little, taste of the types of, information that I share in this community. It's absolutely free to you. It's like a little mini magazine. You'll take a little style quiz, and then it'll talk about how to start creating your concept from the style that you've identified. And then, there's a couple of more, pieces in there, about, styling out one area, which the foyer is the area that I really think of as like the amuse-bouche of your house. You know, you walk into your foyer and that sort of sets the tone for everything else that you're going to see in a space. So, and I give you some styling tips on how to do that. So I hope everybody enjoyed that video, got something out of it. And next week, I will be back with the next design principle, which is going to be focal point and emphasis. And we'll talk a little bit about that and how you're going to use that in your home to really create some stunning vignette areas that will draw the eye. So hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.